All right, we in New Orleans. First of all, before you even introduce yourself, I need you to tell me exactly where am I, what hood I'm in.
Man, you in the 7th Ward on the dark side.
The
That's where you
seven
at.
wall on the dark side.
Yes, sir.
So you telling me I pulled up so this the heart of the seven wall.
That's what some say.
Some say that.
Some say that. I ain't gonna lie though. For me, the heart of the 7th Ward lie around like Huntersville. That's the heart.
Okay.
You feel me? Like if you just go a few more blocks up here towards Esplanade, you in the 6th Ward. So I don't think we really in the heart. But can you play with the dark side? Nah.
You can't play with the dark side.
Man, this fuller. Can I
Go
mute?
ahead, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, man. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are.
I'm Byron Cole. Byron Stephen Cole. From the 7th Ward, Mama D's son, original Black Panther Cub. They say I'm the mayor of the 7th. They call me Uncle B. The city called me Uncle B. That's who I am.
Uncle B. Now, Uncle B, I was born and raised in this city. I was born and raised in this city myself, but I haven't been here in a while. So I need you to fill me in because I be seeing you on Instagram going off on a lot of people. I need to know why you target people like Keith Carroll.
So, if you want to know the truth,
Yeah.
Keith Carroll, I ain't target him. One day I'm doing my thing on an interview like you interviewing me now, and somebody asked me, man, what do you think about Keith Carroll being the opening speaker for the school district, booked to speak at the schools? I said, I don't think that's a good thing. I said, the school's already full of fights, full of mess, the same kind of shit that be on his show. I said, he got his spot, the man an adult entertainer. I said, but I don't know. I said, I wouldn't want Cat Williams to open up for the schools. You feel me? And so that's how all that started. Before I could get through saying it good on Instagram, you know how that network roll, you dig? They done got back to him. He ain't seen it, but he blowing. But he blowing because he think I'm a Instagram something. Well, I'm an outside. You feel me? So they want these. They treat this like it's a rap battle or something. But I'm not in what they in. You feel me? So the shit got out of hand. Then 2 + 2 is 4. At the end of the day, it was a playing with me. So I had to put him in his place. So now all he do is talk shit on there. But I see that everywhere, and he know what the real play is, for real. Do I got something against him? No, because I would have been squashed that. He's nothing out here. Inconsequential, 100%. So I let him live, because it's nothing to me. But, you know, all that shit he talking about, he owned this house and all that. He said that 2 years ago. He still ain't evicted me all the I done called him. I mean, come on, bruh.
Oh, so he admitted to owning this house we in now?
He said he owned it.
Okay.
But this was my great-grandmother's house. He don't own this house. This house was paid for in the 50s, man, 60. That's just some shit he do. On Instagram, it don't have to be true. It don't have to be real. Get an audience to get the running with shit.
Okay, I recently saw that you posted a picture with Juvenile and a police officer.
With the chief of police. Yeah, look, I'm going to keep it 100. Some shit business, some shit personal. This business. Juvie, in my opinion, is what with Brad Scarface on the coldest living signed rappers. He caught all them words I put, because my cousin, Soulja Slim, of course, you know, but signed, living, tenure, body of work, Juvie up there with Brad. For me, that's my top 2. But let's put that to the side. First, the came home and told everybody we want to vax this thing up for the bread. But what y'all don't know is before that happened, I had to talk to Mia X, Frida, all them that took the check from Cantrell. They was all going to support me for mayor. Right before the mayor race started, couldn't get none of them on on the phone, even though I had just been at Frida house. Frida served me dinner on Frida couch. I'm sitting there eating. So I ain't making none of this up. Everybody got their own motivations, man. And if their motivations ain't tied to community, I got to call that out. I don't go searching for no one. You feel me? I heard your name all over the internet. Hey, I ain't never said nothing about you. Because what them up talking about with you don't have nothing to do with the fundamentals of what I'm doing right here. And I don't know you, so I don't know if that's true or not true. It don't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? Unless you put me in a mix, in a cross that I got to distinguish. That's how it be happening, dog. You feel me? So all of them, Keith Carroll, Empower You, Nola, Reggie Art, go back and look at all their pages and how they started. And then go look at all my pages. And some of them you can't even see because I'm on my 5th, 6th, 20,000 page. You heard me? From where them same got my pages blocked because they's competing with me. But if you go look at my most recent, latest page, all the way back to my oldest page right now, you'll see all this my style. When I first started doing this shit on the internet, like, what you doing, B? This the grand. We supposed to be Josie. We supposed to be loud. I said, man, f that. If I could talk to the world, I'm about to let them have it. So, to answer in a nutshell, no fundamental issues with none of them. Because where you from?
Uptown, Magnolia, Third Wall.
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
That's where I'm from. Do you see how real handle problems when they got real issues with? So obviously I don't have no issue. Just had to give me some breathing room. Because all them, you hear me? Every one of them. Half them sick, hiding HIV. You dig? I'm from the New Orleans where a nigga don't respect the whole shit. And you can say what you want to say, how cold you want to say it, it don't matter. But if you can't stand out on the street on that shit, you ain't said nothing. And these people ain't got no bullet wounds, ain't got no stab wounds. And they really getting real traction out here off these cameras. But when you see them outside, hey B, how you doing?
Got you.
That's what the play is. All the real gangsters, you know them, they all fuck with me. Go in the street, go uptown. I'm not even an uptown nigga. Uptown nigga though, the real ones. Want me to start naming? Go ask them. You know them, I know.
Well, give me some name.
Skip, Pokey, all the who I told you was coming here.
Right.
Yeah, go ask them. The hype, the media, ask real in the street how Byron responded when nobody was looking, with no cameras. Been since I stepped in St. Aug, 84, 12 years old. That's my track record. To have jump on the internet talking about on coke and he owned my house and another, you got to buck another up to say my wife sucked this, which that a real that got caught up in the mix came and apologized, said that was a lie in front of everybody, just running with the Keith Carroll shit, you feel me? But I done posted a video where I double slapped the out of him in his face. He said, oh. But people say that's old. So what you saying that's old? So he been up. That's what you saying? He been a all right. We okay. So if you need to add that just make my point stronger, more traction. You feel me? I'm done talking about Keith Carroll.
All right, so you saw the producer and the rappers shook the city up. That was a few weeks ago, but this HIV stuff. So what's your take on one lady saying this producer gave it to her and he's saying he don't have it?
So I know all of them. And I don't speak frivolously. So, at the end of the day, sex a choice, period. Gay sex, straight sex, fling sex, relationship sex, that shit is a choice, right? So we gotta start there. A nigga don't believe they're responsible for their own salvation till it's time to meet the Lord, you feel me? And so, I'm not gonna extend no blame, because every is responsible, right? But I will say that it's amazing to me how New Orleans more concerned with the drama and the hoopla than all we gotta do is have motherfuckers put their tests up. But they don't want to do that. That get to the problem. That get to the bottom of the shit. It's gonna keep it rolling. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, first of all, let's start here. The whole bounce culture. That ain't the bounce culture we grew up with. That produced gangsters like BG and you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And Big Ramp and them that, you know, that ain't the bounce we grew up with. We watched them turn that shit into, you know, gonna get mad, but it started with Jubilee. The first time we was playing that shit outside, and my mama said, what the that is? I said, Mom, that's just Jubilee. Turn that shit off. She said, I hear what the he said. Everybody thought it was just a dance, just a joke, right? Mm-hmm. The whole city ran by right now. When you stand up, a real stand up, they all come together against you, which they ain't shit. I'm still here. I was the first to do that. But I'm just letting everybody know, calling all the shots. They done hooked up with Cantrell, that influencers list, calling all the shots. They stay booked and blessed off our tax dollar to not go against what she bringing in. But see, this is something else I brought up on No Rap Cap podcast. Like, you a real nigga, you been in the street, you been in jail, right? You know, sometimes a nigga can't stand you, right? Mm-hmm. But you can watch him, and you're gonna figure it out. Usually all you gotta do is just stay there, stay in the situations. He gonna expose himself sooner or later, right? Mm-hmm. Or you can push him into exposing himself, either way. I had these that nobody never see with a woman. I ain't even gotta say their names, because your shit go viral. Nobody never see these influencers with no woman. No date, no churn, no nothing, right? So all of a sudden, it just start attacking me. Like, empower you. You know how me and him got off base? One day I posted a cop sleeping in a car. It was an older style car. He made a post capping on me. Oh, nigga don't know what he talking about. They don't use them cars no more. That day, 5 people sent me pictures of police in them cars. Instead of that saying, bruh, my bad on. He ran with his shit. You feel me? Mm-hmm. Whole shit. So I start watching all these different. You know what I start realizing? When I asked Misdemeanor. So I used him as an example in the podcast. I said, you grew up in a Magnolia? Yeah. Uptown the project, right? Yeah. I said, all them our age that's in the project, you used to play with them? He said, well, yeah, you know, we're black, we ain't know, da. I said, but why you think they wanted to play with you? Out of all the in the project, why they wanted to play with you? Now, he thought I was throwing them in a mix. I wasn't. What I was showing him is that I realized that, man, half these out here got a beef with me. They undercover alphabets. They like a they like a sweat, really. I mean, but it's the truth. I figured it out. Like how I step, like how I handle business, like how I make moves. Sometimes it start off looking like a respect or admiration, but them they undercover. Be in a strip club throwing dollars and shit. But, you know, baby mamas be saying they caught him with a dude and shit. But everybody know all these, but don't nobody talk about this. Or it's old. So he been a that ain't nothing new. Oh, but right now when we saying it, ain't nobody want to acknowledge that. Because see, that changed the whole dynamic of what we discussing. Feel me?
Mm-hmm. You said something earlier that grabbed my attention. So you ran for mayor, and do you plan to run again?
No. I got more power without that shit. I don't want to say no names. You've been sitting there. You see my phone jerking. Real powerful. You see it?
Right.
All right. You see me handling, making moves, getting niggas out of trouble, case getting you saw that right here, right?
Right.
All right. Let them think I let them think that. I don't
Gotcha.
need to be the mayor.
Recently, Master P paid to have names put on stars. So do you feel that?
First of all, P ain't paid because the stars ain't there. It ain't open.
Oh,
Feel me? That's the stunt. Peter, he came with a proposal, tried to get money to back the proposal, but all that was disrespectful. Them Graves, the that own Canes, you serious? Left Mama, at least thank God he put Mama Aretha Castle Haley on there. Left Mama D off. Mama D sit on the same 300 most influential New Orleanians ever list that the city made on its 300th birthday. Jean Lafitte as Louis Armstrong. You feel me? My mama wouldn't have wanted a star anyway. That ain't my point. My point is all that some ego-driven. He came back to get him a spot. He the ambassador. All that fake. All that phony. P did the same thing 30 years ago with my mama. And then ran out of town, made her promises. I know you the truth, Mama D. We gonna come in the hood and da-da-da. Then after he fell through on all them promises, tried to get a Catholic church $500,000, they turned this stupid ass down. And Mama only needed $50,000 for the 7 wall.
now you just kind of threw me off with that one. So P didn't. So there won't be no names on the star. Cause I know you're into the politic where you gonna know what's going on.
The last article I read, though, there's a holdup in it. There's a glitch. That's paid for. This paid for. I throw this in the toilet, put it on your neck, put it on mine. Ain't no glitch. I don't know what happened. But if you pay the man to build your house, you go there and you done gave him all the money, ain't no roof on that bitch. Ain't you going off?
Right.
You hear P going off?
No.
All right. Thank you.
Did you attend the party P had? Not.
No. I ain't welcoming them parties. Because I'm going to say what the I want. I'm going to keep it 100. Because I know like BigPokey. I know the real truth.
Shout out to Big Pokey.
Shout out to BigPokey. I'm writing a book for Pokey right now called The Muscle Behind the Hustle. All that stunting about to be put to the side for the truth. Everything Pokey saying he got receipts. Other I done talk to KLC, Mercedes, and I done talk to everybody. You heard me? Truth about to come out. Soon.
Wow.
Wow.
Can you give us a little sneak peek of who you gonna be discussing?
We're gonna discuss. So Pokey titled his book "The Muscle Behind the Hustle," and what he's really trying to do, I think, and I'm speaking for him. I ain't asking, but I think what he's really trying to do is shed the light on where the real power came from that created all that shit that happened, and how that was overlooked and dismissed. You feel me? You know, no disrespect, but my big brothers, Versi and Pokey, they live in meat compared to what they produced and protected. Feel me? Now they not on Skid Row, they doing good, but to say if you back the man that got 500 million, you ain't supposed to have 20, 30. You protected everything, then broke Buku's wrists, literally. You know what I'm saying? All the charges got filed against Pokey and Versa for trying to up P. Protecting them, right? Now, the two least contacted, least connected is the two that protected Mia, C, Silk, P. Why? Because they know the truth. It's about to come out anyway.
A lot of people been asking, was P a street guy? With you being born and raised here in New Orleans, have you ever heard of P in the streets?
So look, I got a cheat sheet too, because I know Silk is the realest out of all them. You heard me? People say You know, Silk can't rap. Why was he on the label? Because he was the that'll really sneak you. You feel me? Silk really don't play no games. You know what I'm saying? Serve on. He'll fight too. You know, but you know, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. At the time that I was coming up from like 5 to like 20, my mama was the director of sanitation in New Orleans. We stayed in the project. I know some of everybody, grandma, we stayed in the scatter site and shit because her job was bringing us there, right? And so, P got family in the Calliope. We know that. I've been back there while his grandma was still living there. But he don't move like no New Orleans nigga. Move like a California nigga. His whole, what you think?
Well, I've been saying he not street, but some people say I be hating, so.
So I ain't gonna lie to you. You don't have to be street. That's what Pokey and them was saying. You don't have to be street when you got Pokies and Versi Carters and, you know what I'm saying? But now you making me reflect because he's street enough to, I believe he's street enough to put money on your head. That's all the street need to be. You feel me? You need to be no more streeter than that. So that we can stop talking about, is he street? Is he positioned properly? Yeah. Now, I know some street that roll with him loyally, faithfully. So, did he fool all them? No. He got something in him. And we know that he bat the out Pimp C in front of Bun B and choked the out of him and them niggas ain't, Texas ain't retaliate. You heard me? We know he called Mystical all kind of ass, wanted to throw him, shut the up, bitch, and Mystical was sitting there crying and shit. We know that. No, this the Mystical, but it's the truth. We know that. So, I'm not here to judge no on if they street or not. And then, you know, if you want to go there, I'm not street. All right, straight A, St. Aug, A-Track, Honors, Catholic School, St. Pius.
Marching 100.
But I was in the band.
What you played?
I was a color guard. I just wanted to get the horse and have the flag. It worked though. But look, this is the point I'm making. So come on now on my threads and have said before, be you not street. And I'm not. But somehow I still got shot. I still got stabbed 170 something stitches. So do I have to be street to understand this here? I think not. Now, what you asking me is, do the nigga got nuts to stand on what he's saying? I gotta believe he do. I ain't never managed 300 million, but I know when I managed 100,000, it was at me. And I had to make sure. You all right? So, you know, I ain't gonna lie. That answer kind of act like I f with P. I really don't f with P. But just because I don't f with her, I'm not a hater though. Feel me? And any that I'm gonna call a hoe, I'm ready to box him when I see him. And me and him not there. You feel me? I don't know if he a hoe or not. I know that his brother Silk is the one with the hands though. I know that for a fact.
I see you have influence in the city of New Orleans with big lawyers and things of that nature. Have you ever thought about helping C Murder?
Pokey a Witness, 1998. You remember that real skinny, long-faced comedian used to be on BET? They used to be real funny, but he used to hang on the basement too with Tigger, rap. But he couldn't really rap, so he just stuck to being a comedian. Anyway, one day him and Pete was bobbing through the Calliope with the MTV cameras, And Mama sent me up there to give P a. I tried to get too close to P. Poke and stuck his hand out, knocked the nigga all down. And didn't even try to knock me down. I was like, what the f, Poke? He's like, man, I'm at work, B. That day, I went up there with 2 messages. Mama said, come see her about Corey and about the community center. I'm coming. Poking my witness. He said that. He never did nothing. P been home 5 months. I ain't heard from him once. Now, Juggy said P had him call me one day to talk to make sure we have clarity on something, right? And I told him what my issue was with P. You pop up home and you don't know what the f popping. You ain't popping the street action. What's real? So when the Super Bowl come and Tyrann Matthews and them bring their over there to Harden and put the trees up around the park that's full of dope heads, now we ain't gonna be able to see them because ain't no lights in the park. They gonna do some ceremonial shit to say they did something, but they ain't asked us what the we need. So now we got trees, but we can't even see the dope fiend. We can't even go to the park. You feel what I'm saying? All that is just aesthetic. Ain't trying to help nobody. If the mayor was gonna help us, she would have helped us. P came back, got with her, so he could make his own shit happen and remain relevant. Period. And you know I ain't talking shit when I say that, you know, dude gotta have some questionable characteristics. Cause I mean, I ain't perfect. I done did some bad shit. But even his own kids saying beat him out the money and you know what I'm saying? What the you know what I'm saying? Now let me trip your head out. I ain't got no money. And me and my son have an issue over $1,000, I'm gonna tell him because that's gonna be my time to show him that money not gonna be with I made you. You feel me? And so there's a lot of little things I see since you asked that I just sit back and watch. You know what I'm saying? I want to know what's the value of saying if a street or not. What that mean? I know street winning. I know street losing. You know, I know street that's hard. I know street that's. So what's the validation of being street? What do that certify? That's what I would ask. Do he got game? You gotta give him that. What 300 million? You ever did that? I barely came up with 150,000. So I gotta respect his mind. Started with an 80,000 flip. I done had 80,000 before. I ain't make it 300 million. Whether he cutthroat people to do that, that's a different story, but he still did it. And if he did cutthroat all them motherfuckers and he's still living, then he gotta be street. I talked to Trey 8 before he died. Trey was telling me how when he see P, he was gonna P. That's what he was telling me. I said, why? And I don't want to be misquoted because your shit go viral, but one of them songs that we was all bumping, Trey said, man, I wrote that for myself, right in front of that. He stole it.
What song was this?
I can't remember. This was years ago. I don't want to lie. But Trey told me that something we was all bumping nationwide, that he wrote that shit. Not even for P, for his own album. Then I think P signed him and took the song. Or some kind of shit, I don't know. Don't quote me, but I know Trey was walking around telling people that he stole his music. And I'm talking about at the beginning, when a nigga first got famous. Not at the end, you know, when you could say, well, man, that man been da-da-da, you know. I'm just trying to point out that he ain't a Pac where a nigga go in the studio, argue with everybody, and his disc still be fire. That P ain't that. And he ain't a co-rapper.
I see that you was helping when we first come in. You was on phone calls helping people out. What do you think that needs to be done in the city of New Orleans? Like, what's the problem here?
We lost our code. You remember when, if the people across the street was tripping, you ain't play, and you ain't kiki, you ain't start nothing, but you just mind your business. We don't have no more codes. Now they go talk and they fake, and ain't none of it real. False love, false respect. You know, networking ain't nothing but trying to see what they could get out you. Network is supposed to be a amicable share. You know what I mean? We lost respect for the elders. I can't sit on names because, you know, client privilege, right? Mm-hmm. But you heard me just now have to tell that 3 times what to do. And you heard me say I ain't charging him, right?
Right.
Why would you call somebody in your dire need? You know, that's who you decide to call. And then fight them when they maneuver you through it. The same little dude, I could show you the screenshot, just sent me a thank you because he just got out of jail where he did something he had no business. And he was about to play with them people. He was trying to give him 15 years. So I told him another route to go that got him down to 2 years. And he was like, but that's 2 years, Mr. B. I said, man, you'll be home in 1 year. I said, I hate I even got to tell you to go to jail, but you done careered yourself with your history. So I backdoored some, figured out a way that a lawyer wouldn't have even took the time to do this. One he paid, and a lawyer wouldn't have even had the relationships I had to where I could make it happen, right? And after all that, you saw the still asked me 3 times, basically. Now what? Now, did you sure? And that's how far I've been with this little no matter. But see, what I learned is that I'm a lifeguard. You ever seen a lifeguard go to save a drowning motherfucker that didn't try to drown him? That's my job. So I can't complain about that when it get in the mix. What I do is I double up the life vest, you dig? Got my flare gun, whatever, you dig? And then I jump in. You know. But yeah, it's like being a lifeguard, what I do, man. And we could really, you know, that's a whole nother show. You have to pay me again. But I could tell you 3 cases right now, major cases in New Orleans, while the person in jail, because they didn't trust me. With everybody watching, because they didn't trust me. Other people tell them, don't do that, don't do that. But see, when a white man attack you, you've been in jail. Was it anything after he jumped on you, the white man? Was it anything you could have did to not make him mad or to where he would have just been nicer to you? No, that's what they think. Oh, I don't want to make him mad. Well, bitch, the charge is on you. You done made him mad. What the f is you talking about? How you gonna make him more madder? He gonna put extra steel in the bars? You feel me? And that's why we lose. My mama beat more criminal cases in Orleans Parish than any 3 lawyers you can get combined. Fuller, Jason, combined without a law degree, my. All that pomp and circumstance is designed to trick you out your position. Only thing I need to understand is what the law say. And I could hire me the cheapest lawyer in the city and go in there and coach that to do exactly what the I say. And the minute he don't do it, I'ma stand up and say, objection, I won't fire my counsel. But be too scared to do that. They think they're gonna make a nuisance of themselves. When you already in the lines, then you idiot. You stupid. I'm fighting for my life on every tooth. I'm not gonna lay down. Most of the shit I do, I can't help it. That's why I got married for the first time at 50. I was married to this shit. Because what I realized is I could be Darius Clement, the man missing on the river. Went to work, the boss ain't got to tell the family. You need cameras everywhere, y'all ain't got to provide no investigation. I could be that. I could be Cardell Hayes, coming on from a family function, positive, and have a run into my car, and because he famous, I'm in jail. I could be Cardell. I really understand. I could be Henry Glover. You understand? So some kind of way, my mom and my grandma put it in us to where we personalize this. Because I figure if I work on it before it potentially happens to my son, it might not never happen to my son. That might sound crazy, but do you understand that? That's my thought. That's my. Ain't about no money. You know, although I do charge $75 an hour, most of the calls, you heard me just tell nigga, no charge. Because I'm hoping that I can breed morality and values in a that they'll carry on what I'm trying to see happen for my community, basically. You know?
Do you pay attention to the hip hop community in New Orleans?
What hip hop community?
Well, give me your top 5 rappers in the city.
Top 5 rappers in the city. L.A.L. not in this order. L.A.L. Hart, Junior Montana, 3D Nati, T7, a little from back of town, and one more. The nigga that sing GH Fat Boy.
Let's go into the second lines. Which one you think more popular, uptown, downtown?
So look, this where you gonna get your views. Ain't none of that shit our culture. All that shit fake. Tired of seeing the white people dressing up, fucking Asians in the front with the costumes on. And also, the real reason why it's fake on a whole, the number one reason, is because when the f you ever seen our culture embrace that like that? Having she-kings disrespect every soldier from the 7, all us. The king was a hoe, abroad. You hear me? I wouldn't have win if they would have called me, dog. But the point is, all of I respect out the 7 that take care of their churn, that battle all these other and keep them off them and respect them, and y'all go pick up to be the king in my hood, and you don't want us to laugh at you? We laughing. We don't respect none of that. Dare bitch to tell me something. Really. Because I got real from the 7 behind me on that. How dare them hoes? We don't participate. We don't participate. All that shit fake.
Even the Super Sundays?
Brother, last Super Sunday was in Shakespeare Park. Crowded in like sardines. Just wanting to fight different sections of shit. Shit. That ain't Super Sunday, my. What the f they doing? They might as well just say we're gonna create a new event. Y'all can come in the park. That ain't no Super Sunday. The f that was. All them vendors and set up tables and what the f that was? I dare a nigga to tell me that was Super Sunday. I respect all the chiefs that I saw that I know ain't sell out. I'm not dissing the culture. But the rest of that shit, most of that shit. Man, you heard about St. Joseph Night last year?
Yeah, I was out there.
Park. You see that shit? Mm-hmm. They moved us way uptown in the park. Crowded in. All that fighting and shit, and all that old crazy shit. I've been going to St. Joe's night all my life. Maybe seen 1 or 2 fights. And the elders quickly jumped in and said, man, y'all cut that out, this spiritual, blah, blah, blah. And we ran our own. Police was in charge this year, 5 fights. You saw them videos. With the police in charge now. You hear me? The f we doing? The people who we paying, that's why we broke. The people who over us, that's why we over arrested. They had full control, and it was worse than it was when we had control. That's a fact.
Okay, let's tap into the breakout. I saw what a young man said that he didn't break out, that they let him out.
They did let him out.
My question to you is, if you seen him walking through the 7th wall, would you aid him or would you turn him in?
What aid mean?
Help him out, give him something to eat, something to drink.
If he saw me with a hamburger in my hand and asked me for it, and while he was walking, I hand it to him. But I do that for everyone. If he said he was hungry and $5 to get him a cold drink, as he was walking, I hand it to him like I do everyone. I'm known for that around here.
Okay, what if you get up in the morning to go outside and he's sleeping on your porch?
I'm going to say, little daddy, you got to go. And I'm going to tell him you was here because my neighbor's going to rat me out. But I'm going to let you go first. You need $100 here. You know what? Let me tell you something. What you don't know is I had a dream. God told me that Anthony want to come to me, but I'm too hot. He can't, and I'm glad. Because he know that I know. I'd have been before the grand jury before, and I ain't know what the f they was talking about, but they said I did. And I swear to God on my mama, who's deceased, I didn't at all. White, female, DA, trying to get elected. All that old we face in America. So I won't hear what a talking about. I'm not persecuting no off the word of no body. Period. Not you, not no other. If I can't stand you, I'm still gonna come see you, Terrance. I ain't gonna get no white man to come do nothing for me. Cause you got to know how I feel about what you done me. You understand? I don't need no middleman for that. Dudes ain't break out of jail. Let me tell you why I say that. The video they showed us, they ain't show him going through the hole. They show him breaking in the cell, and they show him running out the jail, right? Mm-hmm. If you could break in a cell, can't you break out it? What's holding them in there if you could just break open cells? And if everybody in the jail know that they got a cell that you can break open, why they ain't fixed that? They building a new building right next to the jail. Do you hear me? Mm-hmm. As we speak, they build a new building with the old one raggedy. You get that? Mm-hmm. And you know, the 2 that's still at large, I wouldn't give a f if they never get caught. Really. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. All of them are Katrina babies. I think for you to be a Katrina baby, you got to be 2 when it happened. Man, can you imagine being 15 when Katrina hit? Your mom was devastated. Your daddy in jail. Y'all on a bus. You don't got everything you get for the next 6 months. You got to ask somebody. Your mama got a beg. And that's how you, you know what I'm saying? Nobody don't stop and talk about that. But Dylan Roof took to Burger King after he shot up a church full of black people in South Carolina. They say he had a problem. He was unstable. He ain't been through no Katrinas, no nothing. Feel me? It's my dream one day, all my in the city that's under that type of pressure gonna wake up and we're gonna go to war. I'm gonna pick my time. Real shit. That's why I'm really at with it. I'm tired of talking. I can't leave my grandson in a worse position than I was in. And it's getting worse for them. And they look just like me, dog. And I look at his face, sometimes I want to cry, because I'm like, everything good, yeah, Pawpaw can get you a bike and shit, but Pawpaw can't stop you from being a and getting mistreated in America. And the whole America will watch that shit, don't say nothing because you a but let them a white girl or a whale or a endangered bird, and somebody got to die. We got to understand where we really at. People don't mean us no good. The Democrats over us. Every time they get in office, Mexicans come up, gays come up, everybody come up, but still stuck unemployed, abject poverty stricken. It's issues. That don't happen under Republicans. It happen under Democrats, Dixiecrats.
So what do you consider? Democrat, Republican, Independent, what you consider?
So I am I have no affiliation. I'm not none of that. That's what they call it, no affiliation. I'm not a Green Party, Independent, nothing. I'm no affiliation. I'm Byron. Period.
If a person got in trouble in New Orleans, what top 3 lawyer would you suggest?
You gonna make me get these a commercial?
Yeah, man, we gotta promote, baby.
All right. DeSalvo.
Frank DeSalvo.
Oh man.
Napolitano.
I just walked in the courthouse and watched him smile his old way through there and watch him get everything he wanted for his client and turn around and smile at his client and walk right out that bitch. On the way out, I said, I respect you, counselor. He cold. And he's smooth. Ain't gonna be no louder. He don't like all that. He shooting my people high numbers recently because he's so popular, but Greg Carter is a beast. I like him. Jerome Matthews Jr., that's my lawyer. My personal attorney. When they trying to put me in Angola, that's who done saved me twice.
You just had a phone call by an attorney, so where you put him at?
See, now you about to get messy.
Yeah, that's what we do here now. Now you can avoid the question.
So no, you paid me. Me and him have. So okay, I'm gonna be 100. Like I said earlier, I'm not a hater. I can tell the truth. Some sets there, right? Mm-hmm. Sharp, astute, knowledgeable. I still can't get over Cardell. Can't get over that. I let sleeping dogs lie for the betterment of the situation because my life ain't at stake. Get it? But me and Fuller talk like men. You saw that was a good conversation. Mm-hmm. So we our differences. We respect each other. You heard him speak highly of my mother. You know, man, I thought I knew everything I needed to know to manage this movement because I come up under my mama. And just when I thought I knew everything, I realized I didn't. And so I had a general, my mama forced me into a humility, right? Sat in meetings till I was 40 where I knew what was going on and could have ran it. But she said, don't say nothing. And I understood when she that it wasn't my turn. She was the leader, you know? And so when you see me have what I choose to call for everyone to have understanding, a measuring contest with another, it's usually because he don't respect my acumen. And it's because I'm not certified by the cracker. I'm certified by the street. This is my real child. Sorry. You okay? I'm doing a podcast, a paid podcast. As soon as I'm done, I'll call you, baby. You all right? I understand. I love you. Okay. Yeah, LSU. Yeah, I gotta answer certain people. Can't let my fall.
This would make you unique. I like that myself. So, is there any message or anything to whoever that you want to get out to them?
Yeah, my message is to everyone, right? These the realest words I ever said. When you went to the penitentiary, a bunch of convicts that live in the penitentiary, right? Convicts are supposed to be the incorrigible people, the people who can't follow rules, right? But I bet you there was a structure in that prison, huh?
Of course.
I ain't talking about the guards.
No.
I'm talking about the.
We call it politics.
Yeah. And what happens if you don't learn the politics? What happened if you don't learn the politics, my nigga?
You don't get ran out that yard.
All right, so watch this. What's happening right here on the yard is that the young don't want respect the structure based on merit, but we can't shank them. That's the problem. Back in the 90s, did we have these problems? Do you have talking about what they'll do it? And did we have these problems in the 90s? Why not? It was a structure. Every who walked outside in the 7th, Hardin, Huntersville, Stallings, you might have walked into the park blindly not knowing the structure. But bitch, if you came back, you learned it. You either rose in it, or you bucked it and you fell to the bottom, or some like me just respected the game and stayed in the middle. I was Lil Byron. I wasn't gangsta nothing. But if you snuck me, I was gonna fight you back, and I was coming to the park the next day. I fit in that one. Real. Now it's just real. And the listening got so high that they not respecting the structure. So let me tell you exactly what I mean by that. Lil talking about made a post. When I see Byron, I want to slap the shit out Byron. Now, when he made that post, 4 of my little brothers, you can ask my wife, pull up, sat on the porch. B, what up with this nigga, man? I said, man, he not nothing. You feel me? Nigga came back again. This time he said something about my wife. You don't say my name no more. But the thing about that is, I went as far as I could go without victimizing myself, even though he started the shit. The last time I went to jail for waited outside for me. My mama was a hoe, I was a hoe. He was gonna do me this, he was gonna do me that. And I ain't gonna lie, nigga was whooping me. You know, nigga be lifting weights thinking that nigga gonna be scared. I hit him in the head with a pipe. Bow! He called the police on me. I'm driving a month later, you pull over. I'm like, I don't even remember what they talking about, right? By the time we get to court, I got everybody was in the club saying how this was standing outside the club, talking about you gonna beat my ass. I'm a this. I didn't even know the dude. Nigga know me from Instagram. You hear me? Young. I just lucked up and got 53 in the streets of the 7th Ward, and I just lucked up. You know, I don't know what they be thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like when I asked you about that structure in the penitentiary, I don't give a what no say. Any that went and did his time on his toes, that's a real to me. Cause I know what's back there. Even though I never been back there, I work post conviction. You know, I'm an investigator. I had to go see. I know what that environment is. And to be respected in the, not feared, respected. You got to be a certain type of, feel me? That's what I need to bring to the street. Like the that we was talking to on the phone the other day. It's just earlier today, just now. Nigga, what you call me for if you still question me? When I take my car to Cadillac, I don't go in there and see what that man doing, cause that's a reputable dealership. I'm coming back get my shit. If it ain't right, you gonna fix it. Period. You feel me? If I got to keep calling you and stand over there and watch you, I might as well get the from around the corner, give him a couple rocks and watch his ass. You know what I'm saying? We need a structure. That's what I want to say. And I ain't just saying that because I'm old now. I'm saying that because I done walked. You feel me? I done paid my dues, for real. And, you know, the results of what I learned got to be down. And how I know that that's a necessity is because I run a community center out here. You saw them tenants on that bench? All that shit be gone for Monday. Little know they come get a pair of tenants to go to work in, or someone be clean and you go step out in. They'll knock while you here. If you stay long enough, somebody gonna knock and say, Mr. B, I need $10 to go get my driver's license or something. Let me get the rake. You heard me? And so that's what I want to tell them. We need a structure, man. Structure got to have a boss. We want to go work at McDonald's and start on the fries, but then we want to come into the structure that black people already got up, that's being ran and sustained by who could take care of themselves, who making moves, who culture, travel, who can make call shots, right? Working models, not proposals, what you see in real life. That's what we need to work on and bring back to the street, for real.
Okay, now you say you went to St. Aug, you graduated with honors and straight A student. Did you further your education after graduating from St. Aug?
Oh yes, every time, listen, my mother made me a certification CDL, substance abuse counselor, private investigator. I'm accredited to be a hazmat specialist, meaning like, you know, when Katrina happened and they blocked the roads and they couldn't let nobody in, I went to get certified to where I can get in any, you know, I got all the tools to shut off gas, water. I took those. I like to get hands-on direction for what I want to do, you know, instead of just general studies, if you will. But yeah, I went to multiple different programs, different courses and whatnot.
So you say you don't like to use the word activist, so you're not an activist.
No. Activists are people that are pushing for grant money. Everything we do over here come out of our pocket. You saw that garage sale out there?
Yes.
That's all stuff we collected. I sell that and I give away all the time. You'd have to come sit here to see, because if I try to say it on here, people gonna think I'm lying. But while you sit here, somebody gonna come up wanting diapers, somebody gonna come up needing shoes, somebody gonna come up, ask my wife if she got a pair of curtains. You know, it'd be the weirdest things. But nah, I don't like activists. I'm not an activist. Let me see. Empower You Nola's an activist. He gets funded by city council. That's an activist. I pay my own bill, own lawyer.
This is my last question. Do you think it's possible that you will be able to sit down in the same room and have a respectful conversation with Keith Carroll and these other
Why you
punks
ask me
you-
that? You a grown man from New Orleans. You've been to the penitentiary. Do you think it's possible to get in a room with a and have him not act like a? Is that possible? Sooner or later, we gonna get somewhere where you trying to get reasoning. We gonna have to say how this started, right? Started because the nigga was acting like a. That's how it started. What you mean? Y'all want me to be a musician and change the game? I just told you from the beginning of the show, I'm with punks. I can't get no man reason and understanding. Like me and you get the fussing, at least we could go outside and catch the street. I won't even do that without calling the police. You understand? You get that? So how the do you think we can?
Yeah.
As soon as he called me up, I'm gonna bat the out of him. Because we both sitting right there. See, it ain't the internet no more. That's when I gotta go to jail. See what I'm saying? So is it possible? No, it's not. Because they gonna say on the internet that he not gonna say to me unless he got standing there that he got to fight me. He not gonna do nothing with me. That's why it's not possible. See, I could show up somewhere by myself without no pistol to go talk to him. Because I ain't scared he gonna do nothing behind nothing I say. You understand? He can't do that.
I've heard several people use the punk word and towards him, but no one has seen him with a man or a woman. So how could we give him that title?
Let me ask you a question. You came here with this, right?
Right.
If I walk over there right now and slap the out your boy twice in his face and he say, "Oh," is he a punk? Him
He might got
that
the
you
potential.
came with. If he let me do that and sit there and say, "Oh," that's his reaction. Is he a punk? And you don't want to answer, is he? All right.
Not really. I could be scary. I could be that I'm a scary person. Not that I'm a.
Scary would have ran. Scary would have ran.
Not really. A coward could just ball up like.
You gotta know the context of the conversation. Calling him a in the video. And he did call him a scary though. We still call him a punk. Shit. Blah! Smack the out of him.
Man, you got any shout outs you want to give before we get out of here?
Yeah. Shout out to Dead End Entertainment. Shout out to Big Pokey. Shout out to Versa Carter. Shout out to Sheffy Esco. Shout out to Two-Face. Shout out to Chosen One T. Darrell. Shout out to my beautiful wife, Radell Cole. Shout out to Gangsta for giving me the play on the interview. I appreciate that. I'm going to stay humble with it. You know, every dollar that goes towards paying my daughter tuition or my bills, I appreciate that. You feel me? Mm-hmm. I got to give you that because you could have picked anybody. I see your page jumping. I appreciate you. Mm-hmm. And I was going to tell you, the next time you pay me to come on, I'm going to tell you what to talk about. Because 3 things we discussed today, we could have did a whole show on them topics alone. There's so much corruption going on in this. Like, if you're on the squad, you're on the squad. I just seen Kango Slim standing in a picture with the DA Jason Williams while Kango Slim had a warrant. At that time, I ain't rat on him. And now it's cleared up. But I saw that.
Talking about Pump the Party, Kango Slim?
Yeah.
Party's a crime.
Yeah, the same talking about Helena Moreno for mayor. Mm-hmm. Is that why he's saying that? Because he can get away with his shit in the status quo? See what I'm saying? I'm showing. So then when I asked Misdemeanor, I said, well, damn, dog. You know, I know that ain't true, but that's your boy. You are who you rock with, right? Oh, man, that ain't me. I said, oh, all right. See, I'm not carrying no that's bitch nigga shit. Me and you could be tight as a today. You go play with a little boy booty tomorrow, nigga, I'm done fucking with you. And I'm exposing you. All the way. I'm not holding no never. That's why them niggas don't like me. Because don't want to stand up and be real men. You got to kick all that out your life. That was 20 and 30, you gotta let that shit go. Cause not just every fighting for their own independent survival, but look at our community, right? So man, all that other fake shit. I don't give a who don't like what I say, and I'm ready to do whatever need to be done behind what I'm saying. Cause the devil can't kill me. I'm a soldier for God. And I can't leave here till God ready for me to leave here, period. And he told me that. So I don't fear no. And telling the truth can't never be hating. If I say, man, this nigga got a low haircut, he got on a white t-shirt, he a brown skin, that's the truth. No matter what the you say, no matter who you pay to come shoot me, that's the truth. Period. Then on top of that, if you're coming, you better come right. 16 cameras around this bitch, 4 pit bulls, 3 ARs, AKs, all that shit legal with receipts. After we pop a nigga, we calling the people. For real. Not playing. At all. And the beauty of it is, I ain't going nowhere starting up with nobody. I done had 1 million people come in my DM and ask me about you. I said, I don't know that man. You want me to speak on that man? I don't know that man. I know what I hear saying, but some of these niggas, you can't believe nothing they saying. You understand? That's whole shit that everybody caught up in with this now. It used to be real when the real didn't have this, you could miss that whole shit because you just didn't, you know. Now, real just, what the What we need to do is when you post something, if he ain't got a receipt, he a hoe. We need to start a ledger. You a hoe. You jealous of that man, you a hoe. Where your receipt? Period.
Okay, tell them your social media because people gonna want to contact you and keep up with you.
Man, let me tell y'all, I'm Byron Stephen Cole. That's my real name. And that's what I'm on Instagram as. And I don't even know my YouTube. I had to go to that just now. At B Stephen Cole, BSTEPHANCOLE. That's my YouTube. But check this out. I got YouTube videos that you're not gonna believe that I never put on Instagram. And because I don't have a YouTube platform flourishing, watch, when people start figuring out I got a YouTube, it's gonna blow. You
told me your name of your YouTube just now?
Yeah, it's B Stephen Cole. BSTEPHANCOLE. And it's just under Byron Cole. BYRONCOLE.
On YouTube?
Yes, on YouTube. Lowercase letters. It's a picture of me and what that name? What this name, man? I forgot. Look on there. You know him? Famous nigga be on CNN?
No, CNN. No, I don't know that.
Yeah, I can't think of his name. I'm gonna change that picture.
All right then, man. Thank you for coming on the platform.
For sure.
I
It
really
was an
enjoyed
honor.
this. And where I'm at and who I pull up with.
Huh?
Where I'm at, you know they be saying I'm scared to come to New Orleans. I can't come to the hood.
Oh man, you in the 7. And listen, it don't get no wilder where you sit there. It don't get no wilder.
Wow.
But I ain't gonna lie to you. You got a and it ain't from me. See this house right here? This was Mama D house. You know, most gangsters in the street, they ain't gonna come here with nothing. They're out of respect for their legacy. You feel me? Mm-hmm. I had pull up one day and want to fight a that was sitting on my porch. And the nigga asked the nigga to come meet him at Manchu. Real life. So, you know, it's a spiritual thing. Some people might not get it, but this is a safe zone. Anything that come here that's got any kind of trick to it, it's gonna get exposed. It's gonna be see-through. That's one reason why I don't never leave. You know, I'm gonna live here till I die.
You sure? Cause Keith Carroll said this is his house, but that's another story. All right, man, we out.
You know what when Keith Carroll, you stop recording?
No.
When Keith
we
Carroll,
stop?
no,
Alright.
when Keith Carroll said this was his house, that was a delusional ass dream he was having of being my old lady with his punk ass. But you see, I like real women. That's
We
the
out.
his dreams, this his house.
We out, man.